Welcome to Computer Directions Northwest at our Excel Mentor program. Now we have prepared this prerequisite video for you, the newcomer, or as a brief refresher for those who used Excel in the past and are just getting started again. Now this presentation will give you an idea of how to navigate in Excel before you begin in a workbook. Now let's move on to our menu system. So let's briefly discuss our menus here. We will cover the toolbars. We're going to cover the ribbon. We will discuss screen navigation and control. So let's get started with the spreadsheet. Let's work from left to right and top to bottom on our screen here. We will explain in detail on the next slide the components that make up the title bar, and then in the video after that slide details of what each section contains. We'll have the File tab and ribbons. Again, a detailed video will follow with the explanation of the File tab and ribbons. We have the File tab, which technically is not part of the ribbon. Then we have our ribbon. Now this replaced the menu system in Office 2003 and prior versions, and that began with Office 2007. This is where the action happens to make your spreadsheet work. Then we have screen navigation, the worksheet. This is where you will enter the data. And this is where we start in our sample barcode project. And after you enter the data, the formulas are applied, and then formatting is applied, and then you begin to create your tables. Then we have our worksheet views and status, our status indicators, views, zoom control. So now let's get into some detail. First, we're going to focus on the title bar. Okay, let's get into the title bar here. Now, it's the topmost portion of the spreadsheet. It contains the autosave. Now I always turn this on. I can't think of a reason not to unless you have an old, slow computer saving a huge file. Then performance can lag. And then we will explain this in the video. We have a quick access toolbar, and that's customized for your most commonly used commands. We do have our workbook name and program. This also gives you your save status, and we'll show this in the video. We have the username, which will be our current user. We have our ribbon display options. Now you can auto hide the display. Control F1 combined is the shortcut to toggle this on and off. You can also just show the tabs. Looks like the old menu system. Or you can show commands, and you're back to the full view with all commands. We do have our window size control. We have our minimize button. We have our restore. That's up and down button. I'm sizing the window if you'd like. We have the close. Now this closes the current workbook and Excel if this is the only open workbook. So let's go into some details with the next video. Let's get started. From the taskbar, I'll open Microsoft Excel. I'm going to open a blank workbook. And here we go. Now we're going to focus on the title bar. Default new workbook is book 1 in Microsoft Excel. We're focusing on the quick access toolbar. Now we are just going to do this portion of the title bar right now. We'll just show the icons and how to configure them. We'll show the next use in the next video. And in the video after that, we'll go over the rest of the screen. So let's get started. We configure our quick access toolbar in the drop-down menu here. We can customize it. As you can see, we have a number of things selected. We're going to start with autosave. Now that's over here. Let's turn this off. Now autosave is configured under the file, but we'll go over that later. Now, we have new selected. If we want to open a new file, a new workbook, we just select this. Open. You can open an existing file. This icon will put you into the file folder, and then you can select from wherever you wish to open a file. Next is save. Well, you can't save enough for me. That's over here. Even though we autosave every 5 minutes, this little floppy disk is your save. Next we have email. Now that's one of the most valuable tools you get. I use this all the time. You can create an email, attach the file with the file name in the subject line, and send it to your address book or whomever else you wish. That is this icon right here. Next we have Quick Print. Now Quick Print I don't use. This goes direct to your printer. I just turned it on for now with this icon. You can see what that looks like. That will go straight output to your printer. You don't get to preview your work, and you can burn a lot of paper and toner, especially when you're new to Excel. So just keep this off. And we'll do that right now. I do use Print Preview and Print. That's right here. This allows you to set your margins, your print range, and everything else. It's a great way to configure your printer titles. We'll show that in the next video. Spelling. Yes, I'm a lousy speller. So your ABC check takes care of your spelling. Next we have undo and then redo. So the undo command is your left arrow. Your right arrow is the redo command. And what do you redo? Well, you redo and undo. So we have a little fun with that. Sort ascending and sort descending. I'm not going to turn those on right now. We can do that with tables. This will sort your data within a table, and that's a little more advanced, so we don't need these right now. Touch mouse mode. Well, let's select this, go to touch mode, and what you've done is you'll able to turn your touchscreen icons a little farther apart. My fat fingers have a tendency to select the wrong button every now and then, so this is part of a solution to that problem. But since I don't have a touchscreen on this computer, I don't need it. Let's jump over one here and skip more commands and go to Show Button Below the Ribbon. Now watch what happens. You see where I'm in above the ribbon in the green. I will now go below the ribbon, which is right here, and I can display this here. Now, looks a little more conventional. Some people find it more efficient that they don't have to go through the ribbon, they don't have to go through the tabs, and they don't have to come up here. But by default, we'll show that above the ribbon as part of the title bar. Let's go to some more commands. More commands are here, and you can select a number of different items. We had talked about autosave. Let's select autosave right here. We will add that to our list, and let's just click OK and see what happens. And you can see, wait, it's not on the left. Oh, it's all the way to the right. That's where it goes when it's at the bottom of the list. So let's move it. I'll select more commands. I'll come over here to the Quick Access Toolbar, select that, and I can remove it. If I don't want it there, I can take it out, but I do want it there. So let's go ahead and put it at the top and select OK. And there you see we're back to the left. That's kind of where I want it, next to the save icon. Now let's try something else here. A few more comments here on more commands. As you can see, this was the most popular commands. Hover over that. I can also go commands not in the ribbon, all commands. So if you want an idea of exactly what's going on in the entire command structure, you can add it to your Quick Access Toolbar, whatever your preferences are. In some cases, we might want to go ahead and have borders. Okay, let's come up here. We can add our borders in here. We can also do bold. Let's say, for example, you didn't work in the Home tab much and you wanted to highlight text and you make it bold. You could put that here, add it. So let's select that, add that, and it would display. But you know what? I don't really want it there. Let's remove that. Okay? Now these commands, let's go back to popular, are noted globally. You can also do it just for this workbook. Okay? We want to keep it global. And if you do make a mistake, you can come down here and undo any mess you've created by resetting your toolbars. Okay? And that's it. So now we're going to go, in the next video, we're going to talk about what happens when you use each one of these, how it's reflected here with Excel, the file name, saving. So please stay tuned and we'll go to the next video. So let's continue with the Quick Access Toolbar and how these icons work. Now we had done something earlier I want to go into. We had talked about autosave, and it's right here. Again, that's configured under File. We have our save command, So let's put some information in here. We'll do a save command, we'll do a redo and an undo and an ABC check. Now I'm going to do something for fun here. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to turn on my touch mouse mode, and let's go to touchscreen mode even though I don't have one. Let's begin. We'll get back to that in a second. So we're going to type in the Excel Mentor and spell that incorrectly. Tab over to another cell and let's type some gibberish there and some more gibberish and tab over to our other cells. We'll just hit enter after that, and notice it went down and back home, and we will go over that command, which is figured under the options here. So I don't like all this typing, and I don't like the fact that it's typed incorrectly. Well, the first thing I want to do is let's undo this and this. I'm going to undo the type. If you notice, I went up to the undo. I'm going to undo the last type, and now I want to do an ABC check because I'm a lousy speller. I'm going to continue checking at the beginning of the document, and I'm prompted to change the word, and I have that right here, and the spell check is complete. I'm going to come back in here. Now we say we have our file name that we're working in Excel. That means it must be saved, so I'm going to save that right here. Now in earlier versions of Excel, you would lose the undo and redo queue after you saved. That doesn't happen anymore. This will store your undos and redos. Well, let's undo our typing. Well, we incorrectly did that and we want to undo it again. Okay, so let's redo some things. Let's redo it again, and we'll redo things right here. Now let's type incorrectly again. Come over here, type incorrectly again. Come over here. I'm going to do the undo command, and I can take the redo command, and what I did the last command here is Control Y. Well, something used to happen here. I used to have arrows here to select the pull down menu of what I wanted to do or undo. If you select this mouse touch screen and you have touch mode selected, you lose the pull down arrows. So I'm going to select mouse mode, and I want you to see what happens here. We go to mouse, all of a sudden the arrows appear again, and then we can select what we want to undo. I want to undo this typing. Okay, I want to redo one thing. Now I can redo a few more things. Okay, so that's a very nice feature we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I'm going to go ahead and move my cursor to A1 and delete this. Notice your current information is done on the formula bar for the existing cell, cell number, formula bar. We'll go into that in another lesson. I'll do that. File doesn't show saved, it says Excel, so I'll save it. And we've gone over the undo and the redo key. And I'm going to, since I don't have a touch screen and since it has a tendency to affect my other undo and redo, I'm just going to get rid of that. Again, undo, Control Z, redo is Control Y. We want to open, we want to create a new document here, so we'll hit Control N or just click this. Up comes our new document. Now this comes with one sheet. It typically defaults to 3. I don't like to work with more spreadsheets than I have to. So under File Options, and we'll go over that next, I can show you how to configure the default number of sheets. If you ever want to, you can just add one right here, and that will be the sheet. I'm going to right hand mouse click, and I am going to delete that sheet. Once you delete that sheet, your data is gone, unless you have not saved the file. So we opened a file. We've talked about opening a file. There it is. I can come back over here, look anywhere in my computer, see what I've got here. So we'll just cancel this, go back, and I don't want to use book 1, so I'll close that. I don't want to save, and there we go. So I'm back to my save version. Email, this is the one I was telling you about before. What a wonderful tool. So I want to collaborate with people. I can send this file out attached with the file name in the subject line to anyone in my address book, or I can add somebody new here, CC to whomever, and then just send. Select my text here, and it's a word processing Microsoft Word to edit all my text. So that's very nice. I'm going to close this. Okay, that takes care of that. We've talked about spell check. Let's look at our print preview. And again, this is a minimal number of icons for me. This will tell you the number of my printer here. Everything's different, so I won't go into detail there. Just the fact that you can configure your printer here. I will configure the page here. We'll get into printing in another lesson. It just suffices to say that we have the page and how we set it up, portrait or landscape, how much we want to fit, paper size. Our margins will be selected here. Default margins are right here. Our header and footer, where we can define a custom header and a custom footer. Just select these and we can start adding items there. Again, that's a different lesson. I'm just showing you that this is here. I'll come back to the original menu. And that's it for the quick access toolbar. Again, our file, it's saved. My username is over here. I can edit through live my current photo. If this is Office 365 and anything with that or Microsoft 8.1 or higher, you have to have your account with Microsoft, so that'll be listed here for you to be logged on. We then turn around. We can see what this does for us. We'll select this. This is your ribbon display options. We can hide the ribbon. We can show the tabs or everything. If I show the tabs, it's kind of a standard old, almost looks like the old menu system up above here at the top. I can come back in here and I can auto hide the ribbon completely. I'm going to shrink that back down to a normal size and put in all the tabs here and shrink this back down for us to see. So that's all done. Now another shortcut here, I'm going to select this. This is collapse the ribbon, so I can click this and you see what happens. It collapses that. I can hit Control F1 and that will expand the ribbon for me again. And then I can share with whom I need to. I can invite people from my other lists and that will work. Okay, so that's it. We've done everything we can here. This is a list of email addresses. You can go into your other books. I just did that for demonstration purposes. We'll close this window. And that's it for this lesson. The next we'll cover the File tab and the options. Thank you. What's next with your subscription will be a continuing detailed look at the File menu and ribbon, just like we did for the Quick Access Toolbar. Now that's included for free with your first month subscription at any level. Now each month we upload a new project for your review with detailed step-by-step instructions on how to create a new project yourself. New tips and tricks each month and different Excel commands and functions. We invite you to look at the sample barcode project to see how we present our monthly subscriptions.